In this video, I want to talk about doing exercises with two arms versus single arm exercises. So for example, let's take a curl. Now you can either do the curl two arms at a time, one arm at a time, or you can even do them alternating arms. Each one has benefits of its own. Some of the research on single arm movement shows that with exercises like curls, you can be stronger when doing the single arm exercise as when you're doing two arms at a time. So for example, let's say with two arms, I can curl 45-pound dumbbells. If I use just one arm, I might be able to curl 50 pounds, a bit heavier. And the mechanism that they believe is involved in this is the fact that when you're doing a single joint exercise and the nerve impulse that goes to the muscles typically is going to both arms. Now it's focused on that one arm. It's allowing a better nerve impulse, more synchronized, faster, and that can enable you to be stronger, contract your muscles with more force. So which exercises allow you to be stronger? Because if you've tried some, like the bench press, let's take the dumbbell bench press, you'll find that you're able to lift more with two arms than you are with one, and that has to do with your core strength and your ability to balance yourself on the bench. An exercise like the curl, for example, this is one of the ones where you're not at a disadvantage doing a single arm movement. You're actually at an advantage. So you'll find that if you're focusing on one arm at a time with a curl, not only will you be able to use more weight to get the same amount of reps, but it helps you create a better mind-muscle connection with that muscle. Let's break down the list of exercises that work well as a single arm move. So we have the curl, dumbbell rows, lateral raise, front raise. One of the benefits that a single arm movement allows is better form. Again, if we go back to the curl, if I'm doing one arm at a time, I could focus better not only on my mind-muscle connection, but on the form that I'm using so that I'm not cheating. On bent over lateral raises, you would think that using a single arm would be more beneficial, but what happens here is you use more of your rotation muscle. So you're using other muscles to rotate your torso to help move the weight up. So now it's taking focus off of the rear delt and placing it on other muscles. This doesn't happen when you use two arms because you can't rotate either way. You have to bring both arms up. So now the only muscles that are working here are to bring your arms up to your sides, not rotating. So for the lateral raises, single arm is good for when you're working on that middle delt. Single arm is good for working on the front delt. When you're doing bent over lateral raise, however, you'll have better form and better focus on the rear delts when you do the two arm version. Now we'll get into leg exercises and discuss the difference between single leg exercises and exercises like the squat that use both legs. Now, squat is king of all leg exercises, really. When it comes to the squat, it's the most well-known leg exercise. And obviously, you have to do the squat with two legs at a time. However, you can do a single leg squat, and there is some evidence that suggests that athletes who use single leg squats are able to better strengthen the leg muscles. And the reason being that when you're squatting and you have the weight on your shoulders, if you're using both legs, it requires a ton of overload. And the world record for the squat is well over 1,200 pounds. So what the evidence suggests is that when you're training with that much weight on your shoulders, the back is the limiting factor with how much weight you can use. It's really not the legs. And there's evidence that suggests that when you do single leg squat, you can use a bench, a bar, however you want to set it up. But when they have athletes do single leg squats, their legs get stronger because you need less weight on one leg than when you're using both legs. Now another good single leg exercise is the the leg press. If you've never done the single leg press, you got to give it a try. You'll definitely feel it much differently. Remember, when you're doing single leg exercises too, the stabilization is a bit different. So you tend to use more muscle fibers in the leg, and that's why you'll feel it when you do the single leg press, how sore you are the next day. Much more than when you've ever done two-legged version of a leg press. For a workout that focuses on single arm movements, check out my 15-minute back workout. And then if you really want to see a novel way to use single arm exercises and single leg exercises, check out my split set training at gymstoppani.com.